Morning, everyone. I'm back in Moscow after a week or so away. How quickly things can change. Just a few weeks ago, some Russian papers were lamenting the low oil price of around $40 a barrel and predicting problems for the Russian economy. Well, because of the Iran war, this week oil prices jumped to nearly $120 a barrel. They've fallen since, but remain much higher than last month. Komsomolskaya Pravda declares that expensive oil is a reason for the West to cancel sanctions against Russia. The Russian government paper Rossiyskaya Gazeta points out that the rise in oil prices directly affects Russia's budget revenues. The federal budget was calculated according to an oil price of $59 a barrel of export-grade Urals. But due to the discount Russia's been offering on its oil, its price in early March was around $44.4 to $46.1 a barrel, significantly higher than at the start of the year, but still below budget expectations. Now, even if the $25 to $30 a barrel discount remains in place, which is highly doubtful, the oil price has already risen to $75 to $80 a barrel. But the paper sees problems ahead. The consequences of this conflict will hit our economy anyway. The end of the conflict, or a global economic crisis, will lower energy prices. No one has lifted sanctions on us, except for a temporary relaxation regarding tankers at sea with Russian oil for Indian buyers. What's more, when the conflict ends, the pressure on the Russian economy is likely to increase. But for now, there is an opportunity to get some preferential advantages from the US-Iran conflict. Now, Donald Trump won't enjoy reading this piece in Moskovsky Komsomolets. The writer claims that President Trump has gone completely wild this spring. It's one thing appointing a president of Venezuela in the Americas, albeit South America. It's completely different demanding that the new authorities in Tehran get permission to rule directly from Trump. A clear-headed politician has to understand the difference in scale between Caracas and Tehran. The writer reaches this conclusion about Donald Trump: the peace president has simply lost his mind. The emperor has no clothes, or rather no sanity. Same paper, this article claims that Trump is talking unprecedented nonsense about how the United States has already won and that he should choose a new leader of Iran and that now everything will be fine again and he will turn his attention to Cuba. The writer seems to hope that the Iran war will actually help Russia's war on Ukraine. I really hope that our military will be allowed to take advantage of this situation and that the spirit of Anchorage from the Trump-Putin Alaska summit, like a genie being put back into the bottle, will be sealed up and thrown to the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Why there? Because in Iran, we see what happens if you try to negotiate with the globalists. Iran is fighting. Iran is still holding our second front. We need to hold the first one and not get carried away again by promises of jeans and chewing gum. Komsomolskaya Pravda mocks the US president with this photo of evangelical leaders praying over him. It looked like a shamanistic ritual or a seance. But the things you'll do when your operation in Iran is not going at all as you imagined. However, when it comes to the Kremlin, President Putin is being careful not to criticize Donald Trump. Quite the opposite. As Izvestia points out, when the two leaders spoke on the phone yesterday, the Russian president spoke positively of US mediation efforts on Ukraine and personally the efforts of the American leader. Clearly, the Kremlin wants to retain good relations with Donald Trump. I think because Vladimir Putin views this relationship as beneficial to Moscow in terms of Russia's war on Ukraine. And winning that war, or a peace deal on Russia's terms, is the Kremlin's priority. Kommersant reports that President Putin sent signals that Russia is willing to supply oil and gas to Europe if European companies and European buyers suddenly decide to reorient themselves and provide us with long-term sustainable cooperation, devoid of political pressures. We're ready to work with Europeans, but we need some signals from them that they're ready and willing to work with us and will ensure this sustainability and stability. The key phrase there is devoid of political pressures. The Kremlin views high oil prices as an opportunity to ease Western political and economic pressure on Russia.